What's up, YouTube and fellow Guardians? Una here to bring you another video, and today we're talking about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I'm super excited for this Krennic event. The developers, they put out this chase and this timeout meta, and it's really difficult for Arena. I don't particularly care for it. I don't like long drawn-out battles. I am a hit it hard, hit it fast guy, so I'm really hoping Krennic and Death Trooper bring it back to us. But specifically, I want to talk about the events, and almost kind of specifically to an event designer, because I think he's got a really hard job. I don't think people give him enough credit, but I want to talk to some of the problems that I see that an event designer would face, and what I would love to see happen. Whether that's possible, budget, I don't know, but let's talk about it. Okay, because they have a hard job, and they always get this feedback of just like, oh, your events are horrible, but it's like, what were you expecting? What makes an event good? And, I've been thinking about that, and it's really hard to figure out what I would do differently. But I do know that the reason why people chose this game, some people choose it because, hey, they want kind of like this style of game. They love Pokemon, this might be why they get addicted, but they choose it because they love Star Wars. And I'm definitely one of those. I'm in the middle of reading Catalyst right now, and I'm super excited for Krennic just because he's so awesome. The way he just is, he's just a master manipulator. And that is what the Empire has always been about. The whole Clone Wars thing to create this army and just manipulating the Separatists to create the droid army so that he could create his own and eventually dissolve the Senate. Just that whole thing, it just doesn't get enough credit of how brilliantly manipulative the Empire was. So what I would love to see with these events is probably taking more of the story into effect. But, as an event designer, I don't know what they have access to, right? That they're given a budget, and they may not even have access to dev resources. I don't know what this platform looks like, whether they just plug and play characters. But with that K2SO, they slapped in some stormtroopers, and then they slapped in, one with Retribution, and they're like, hey, that's an event. Tell me what you think. That was like a sandbox experience. You know what I mean? Even if you go back to that scene, yes, there were stormtroopers there, but remember you had, Saw Gerrera's men. Hey, first of all, spoiler alert. Fast forward at this point if you haven't seen Rogue One, but you had Saw Gerrera's men. You had Jin getting caught in the middle of this return fire. There's just nothing drawing back to that experience other than, hey, K2SO's here. Go earn his shards. And don't get me wrong, the rewards can make up for a bad event. The rewards are awesome. It's like, yeah, I'm so excited for this. But in terms of actually making it an experience, that's what's hard. And I feel kind of like, now that you have ships, Mage Ducky's going to kill me, but there's no point to ships right now. I don't even have to do ships, and I could still get Zetas, I could still perform Arena, and that was partly by design, but there's just no point. Man, would it be cool, for example, you go back to Episode 4, imagine being able to do some rounds with the Millennium Falcon where you're trying to escape. You got to blast through some stormtroopers, and then all of a sudden there's like old school video games. There's a cutscene where you get brought into a tractor beam. They already have the background built for the inside of the Death Star with the little mouse bots running around. How cool would it be if the next scene is you had to use Ben and Luke or something like that to do something, and they create a new character with the shield. Or the tractor beam stuff, I don't know, just tie it back to the story more. So I don't know what this is. I haven't done it yet. Oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of tears. But I would hope that they tied this into something that Krennic did. Open it up with him and maybe some Death Troopers, and it's going. And again, spoiler. Okay, fast forward if you haven't seen Road One, but have him and Death Troopers going out onto some fields and have him fight Jin Erso or something. I know Jin was a baby in that scene and stuff, but tie it back to the movie, and then have a scene later on, on Scarif, or however you pronounce it, where maybe you have the ships flying around in the background, and you're fighting the rebels at that point, and you have shore troopers on your side, or you're required to have shore troopers. I don't know. You don't want to make it too inclusive that you have to have certain characters, but tie it to the story more and make it a progression. Don't just make it, hey, here's 3 battles with stormtroopers, they fought them once, but take the background into consideration. Take the plot, try and bring in ships. To me, that is what I would try and do as an event designer. But I know at the same time it's they probably don't have access to unlimited resources. As a developer, as an event designer, you only have so much money that you're allowed to play with. So my guess is, I mean, okay, so remember Geonosians and Rey and the Royal Guard when they teamed up? That was a great battle when those guys tried to take down Krennic. I mean, this makes no sense, honestly. And then I think that's the rewards are one part of it, but the other part of it is I love like a story. Like they don't even attempt to put like like when the AAT raid comes out, Grievous says a little something like old school video games. You've got a little bit of a plot there where there's like some dialogue exchange or here's what we're trying to accomplish or here's our main villain. They just stuck Wigs do team against me, okay. And again, Rey, Qui-Gon Jinn, and the Geonosian Soldier like that. That didn't even happen in here. Like this just doesn't make sense to me. I am reading Catalyst, and there was some interesting spoiler. Okay, fast forward, but there is some interesting talks there about trying to hire Pago the Lesser to potentially build the Death Star for them and stuff. But this is not tying into it. There's no little intro plot. There's no thing. It's just hey, I threw. And it's the same random character. So is it going to be the same random character throughout this whole thing? So I don't get when and it's not a slight, but as an event designer, what were you designing? Like I don't know what you were going for here. This doesn't tie into the plot. The rewards, these are better. We get a 25 shards here. It's I heard it's gonna look like. So hey, that's exciting. But I mean, does this look like I'm having fun through this? I don't know. Like I'm just not really into it. I'm doing this for the rewards. I'm not doing like if there were no rewards, I wouldn't be playing this. And I think that's your challenge as an event designer is how do I this is a video game. People do this for fun. How would I make this fun? Even okay. So at least these guys have some health, although they've got some speed. So this last tier is going to be the hard one. Okay, well there goes Lando. Jesus. All right. So apparently the last one is randomly much harder than the first one. Still got one more battle here. I'll just take out Chewbacca. I didn't even look at what his skills are, but I mean, is this really helping me learn how to use him since I can't choose teams really that much? Special damage to all enemies with 40% chance to inflict stagger. Well, we don't really need an AoE right now. We don't have many people left. Deal special damage, and I looked over these yesterday. It's just interesting to actually see it in action now. Well, they all have target buff already. Let's see how much his basic does here. Oh, that is nice. I'm gonna need that for Chase because they are so broken. I don't know why they were put in this game. No, I do. They got feedback like, hey, healing, bring back healing, and that's what they tried to do. Is they tried to bring back healing, so that's fine. But they broke it. They broke the game by bringing back that much healing. The fact that I can get taken down by Gear 8, like an attacker Gear 8 and like a tank Gear 9, and I'm all Gear 11, and I have good synergy, I've put in good gear, I've got amazing mods. The fact that they could take me down, it just doesn't show good design. You need to have more than just, hey, I chose the right characters and I win. Like you need to take into consideration the mods and the gear, and that's hard as a designer. I get that. It's just I guess, yeah. There's nothing interesting between this and the other versions of this. Is they were all the same characters to fight, and I just don't think there was anything really that interesting about. Okay, now let's do the AoE, see what this does. So here's that stagger. Wonk, wonk. And it goes away once I hit him, yeah. Just does that extra damage. Okay. It's interesting. I'm very excited to get him, but honestly, when you do these, I don't know if I feel like it's really a good sneak peek. There's that stun. That is so cool. Yeah, I am very, very excited to get Krennic. I'm very excited to use him, but it's gonna have to be on my teams. This is a nice preview. I like this. I like the forced ally tech. I just think if you had the resources, I would love to see you put more effort into tying it to the story, making it an adventure, adding some dialogue. Because otherwise, I mean, what are you doing to excite your fan? I mean, but not the gamer. What are you doing to excite the fan? There you go. Okay, so I guess it's really easy. My Cad Bane's Gear 8. I think my Boba's Gear 8, Gear 9. I think I just upgraded them. Yep, and there's the 25 total shards. So that's the event. I'm excited to get the shards, but if there were no rewards, or if you could refresh, I don't know if I would do that again. It's cool to get the preview. I love the preview. Keep that. But I don't know. If tournaments are going away because these hackers can't play by the rules, and you can't bring them back. I would put more effort into these events, and I think it doesn't take much. Whether it's just a little bit of dialogue, choosing characters, if you could tie in the plot more in terms of how you evolve, in terms of it's not just a round 1, round 2. Maybe you could go to ships. Maybe you could, add in some things like the shield generator. I don't know, just tie it in more. That's why I chose this game, and I'd love to see the event designer goals align with the, hey, who are my customers and why are they choosing this game? It's not just, hey, here's the rewards we can give them. Hey, here's the preview. That's focusing too much on the game. Look at the customer behind the scenes, which is I love a Star Wars guy. How do I excite this nerd? How do I excite this guy that just loves Star Wars so much? So yeah, that's my initial thoughts on it. I'm glad I got the shards. I'm glad I got to see his abilities, but I just wouldn't be excited from a Star Wars fan perspective about this event. The characters didn't make sense. It's the same thing over and over again. There's no plot. So, in terms of designing single-player campaigns, there's no design here. So, good luck with how you guys play this game. That's my thoughts. It's not a slight. Maybe they don't have the budget to do too much. Maybe it's too hard. I don't know how much it costs to, but I don't know if they have to license, what they have to license and such. But, I don't think the dialogue's asking too much, but I don't know what kind of approvals they have to go through with Disney and all that. I'm sure it's a lot. But if you're going to put an event out there, you're going to promote it, this is a game that makes money. I just think there needs to be a little bit more effort behind it. I don't think it's bad. I think there could be more, and I don't think they're taking the customer of why people are choosing this game into account. I think it's just like, hey, what can we do with this game in terms of rewards and stuff? So, I don't know. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. What would you see? What would you love to see to make these events better? What ideas do you have? Because I just feel like I need to connect more with Star Wars, and not necessarily the game, but the Star Wars universe. What are they doing to further excite fans? And I would just love to hear your guys' opinion on that. So, with that, guys, Una out.